All right. Should be live. Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Took a little bit of a lunch break. Was doing a C++ stream before, making skyboxes and stuff like that. But we are back now doing back to TraceRacer, JavaScript game development. So, where we last left off, now almost a week ago, last stream, we were working on some statistics for our gameplay. So, we wanted to have something that just told us, you know, like the time it took us to play, maybe the bubble, you know, maybe bubbles popped, or maybe the amount of time that we've popped, it took us to pop bubbles. We want some basic stats. That's kind of what we're looking for. Hang on a second here. Yeah, so right now we're printing some stuff to the console here. And I want to see exactly what we're printing. We are logging this .marathon.stats.end time minus the start time. So I guess we are... Okay. So we're currently printing how long it took for us to play this game. Okay. Oops. Okay. A little longer there. That's good. And then what we... Basically, before we get too fancy, I'd like to add some stats that pop up after you play, right? So after we just beat the level, and then we'd have some, you know, basic stats, whatever we decide becomes important. Bekitty, hi. So, are you on your phone, Big Kitty? Yes, you are. Okay, gotcha. The other thing I'd like to do is maybe average. We do bubbles. Let's just do bubbles per second. Let's just try that right now. So we would just do, we've got 6 bubbles right now. To calculate that, we would just do this .marathon.bubbles.length divided by let's just do some new stuff here. This .marathon.stats.total time equals, then we're gonna do this. And we'll print total time. Yeah, so I'm just gonna print some basic stuff to the console first. Before we get into creating a new screen stats screen object and everything. Just want to maybe figure out some stats, print them to the console, and we'll figure out what we want from there. So yeah, so I created a stats object on our marathon. And I believe yeah, we do. Okay, so when it gets set up, we take the current canvas wrapper runtime. That's our start time, and then our end time starts as null. And then when the match ends, we set the current, which would then be the current canvas wrapper runtime. So that's pretty good. Let's do bubbles a second. Should actually write it out per second. Or I guess we say bubble pops per second. Bubble pops per second. Oh. Yeah, let's roll with this. And then I think I know how we'll be able to break this stat. So we do this dot marathon dot bubbles dot length, and then we're going to divide the number of bubbles by the time, by our total time, right? This dot marathon dot stats dot total time. Right, and that'll give us our bubbles per second. Well, that will give us, hang on, I can't think. That will give us, so if we have 10 bubbles and it took us 10 bubbles over 2,000 milliseconds. Yeah, that's 0.05 bubble per millisecond. So we need to do that times 1,000, right? Because then that would give us 5 times 1,000. Right, okay. Okay, so now let's load that. Oh. So 1.512 bubble pops per second. Okay. But if I do something like, if I do a bunch, oh no, it won't, that won't make a difference. Yeah, here it goes way down. It's only counting the real bubbles. So that's actually what we want. What I was doing before was I was grabbing a timestamp, or I was saving the timestamp of every bubble that's popped. And I don't, now I'm thinking maybe we don't even need that. Let's just make this a little longer. Let's just do 15 bubbles. And then, oh no. Can't see it. There we go. So I had a 1.4 bubble pops per second that time. So now if we go, there we did 2.23. Nice. Yeah, I think I like that now. I think I like the per second number. So I was thinking per minute number, but obviously that's going to be pretty high. You know, like if we did basically that number times 60. Let's just do it just to see how it looks. So times 1,000 times 60. So we would play along here. Yeah, 149 bubble pops per second. That's like less, I don't know, it's less. It's less clear exactly what that means. I mean, 141 oh, but it still says per second, but it's 141 per minute. I like the per second better. If we decide that minute is better, I don't know. So we could show total time, total bubbles, bubble pops per second. Trying to think of what else would be kind of a cool stat to have. Oh, gotta refresh here. .4. Oh. Then when you mess up, that significantly lowers your time for the most part. But like as you play longer games, it's like if I did a perfect game there at 15 bubbles and I had 2.4 pops per second. But when you mess up, that significantly hurts that number. So you're going back to, like in this case, 1.8. But I guess as you'd have a game that's like longer, like 15 bubbles would never be like one game, I don't think. Like that's just too short. You wouldn't really, you'd want to play something longer than that. I mean, I'm thinking initially we're gonna have, you know, 50 bubbles or something. Now, I mean, I've been doing 100. And, you know, you're probably going to mess up a couple of times in 100, but I feel like that wouldn't mess up that stat too much. Yeah, let's let's just start creating a basic like stats screen object now. And I can kind of figure out more of what we want later. So it'll be How many bubbles did I set it to now? 100? Okay. All right, I'm not going to play that many. Let's change it back to 5. There we go. All right. So right now it kicks you back to the main menu because our buttons reappear, right? So we go back to the main menu. But before we do that, we should have the new stats screen. So it'll be like, oops, pop that last one, stats screen, and then there should be like play again or something like that, or main menu. Buttons to play again or go back to the main menu. But for now, let's look at this flow here. So in our application, we've got marathon ended, marathon destruct, blah, 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 marathon equals null. How are we triggering to go back? Oh, maybe that's part of our main menu object here. Main menu. Yeah, this must be listening for. Oh, that's marathon started. Yeah, it's listening for marathon ended. Then it is firing up that menu again. Which I guess is fine for now. I don't think we need to worry too much. My speakers muted themselves again. Yeah, so let's just start creating a we'll just call it stat screen. Stats screen. So this will be an entity. Whoops, export default class stats screen extends entity constructor. Okay. So I already did our super call there. So I guess we will pass in the stats object here. Let's make this, let's do this. We will pull in, so application, instead of doing the stats stuff here, let's pass marathon.stats. I'm trying to think kind of the best way to do this. Whoops. Guess we'll do this dot stats screen equals no. Let's pull in our stats screen, import stats screen from statscreen.js. All right, so we're pulling in our stats screen, starting as null here. We are going to initialize it when the marathon ended. I don't know how we're going to destruct it yet, though. It's this dot stats screen dot init. Oops. Oh, I guess when we call init, actually. Oh, no. It's null first. This dot stat screen equals new stat screen. And then here we could, I guess we're gonna right now pass the whole marathon object, because we need to get things like the bubbles, length, and all this stuff. Yeah. So let's do. All right, so we'll do. Oh, this is going to be a marathon that comes in. Retro MMO. How did the C++ stuff go? I had to run for a while. Yeah, no worries. It went pretty well. I finished what I wanted to finish. I basically got to a point where I'm like, well, I do want to kind of push and add some features, but I'd like to kind of think about it. I didn't really have any inspiration at the time. So I kind of cut the stream and then went for lunch. So, Retro, when do you have a stream schedule normally? Because I never see you online, never see you streaming. So I got to find you one of these days. $8 p.m. to 12 a.m. daily. Gotcha. Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, I guess typically I'm not on Twitch those times. You're Eastern time, right? You said East Coast. Gotcha. Cool. Oh, actually, we don't want that. Guess in our constructor here, we should calculate. Like at this point, I want to calculate all the stats, I think. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do this dot total time. It's going to equal, and then what we were doing here was marathon. Do this. And we have our bubbles per second, so that's total time. This dot bubble pops per second. We'll do total, well, this dot total bubbles, this dot marathon dot bubbles dot length. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Okay. This dot marathon dot man, Retro though, 8 p.m. to 12, 4 hours every day, and you're working full time. Crazy. How do you do it? No sleeps. Nice. Yeah, seriously. sucks, but the only way I'm going to get out of having to work a day job and getting into doing the full time is if I grind it really hard. Yeah, I gotcha. I hear you. This dot stat screen dot if let's do this dot stat screen dot destruct this dot stat screen equals null. That'll at least get us by for right now temporarily. So this way, when the marathon ends, we destruct the marathon, we fire up our stats screen, pass the marathon to the stats screen so it can calculate all the stats and whatever. Initialize the stats screen, then marathon's already destructed and just sets it to null. And then this if for when a marathon starts, we're checking if there's a stat screen there. If stat screen is not null, basically, then destruct the stat screen, set stat screen to null, and then we're firing up a new marathon. So this will at least just prevent kind of the memory leak issue with getting rid of our stats screen. This isn't exactly how I want to handle it, but it'll be all right for now, I think. Retro, I'd love to have something like your situation. How do you get a part-time? Do you do part-time for your day job? Job market is not so easy right now, though. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm blessed. I work for like a small manufacturing company, so I kind of do a lot of IT stuff, not just development. I'm kind of all over the board: IT, admin, support, everything. Basically just me and another guy that do IT stuff there. So it kind of works that it's just because it's just a smaller, it's, small mid-sized business. So it's just kind of works that I can do that. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine if you're doing, wherever you're at development wise, they're probably not interested in having you like part-time. So that's kind of, yeah, I'm just kind of in a little bit of a nice situation with that I can do part-time and, just work hourly. Like I was, an employee before, and now I'm just like a private contractor for this company, just doing hourly work, But basically, making the same amount of money, just scaled down, hours, whatever. So yeah, I'm the only full-time dev at my day job. Oh, gotcha. They don't want you part-time. Yeah, I gotcha. Very small startup. Well, sounds like it'd be fun, at least, right? Oops. It's a good job. Well, that's good. I'm just very set on the MMO. Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, you named your name after it. Yeah, that's crazy though. I gotta, because I think all your I've tried watching your videos on your channel, but I think you got them all set to subscriber only or whatever. So I'll have to catch one of your streams and then or subscribe, I guess, and then see what it's all about. They're sub only because I'm applying to jobs. Gotcha. Nice. I'm probably going to fix this in a minute, but I'll just make a to-do for if I really forget. Because I'm thinking of, I'm going to be changing how the menu stuff works. The menu, because right now the menu, I mean, well, I want to get rid of using these HTML buttons and everything and just use my own, create my own button out of just canvas on the canvas. So we'll be doing that, but then I'm going to need to create like a new menu kind of thing, because our stats screen, it'd be nice to have like a play again button or a go back to main menu button. And then you would just sit on the stats screen forever until you clicked one of those buttons. So I have to figure out how I want to handle doing that, but I'll probably end up, well, yeah, and then once I start doing my own buttons, some stuff might change with how I do the menus, maybe. Guess we'll see. We'll see here. Retro, are you going to build a system for reusable UI components? Yeah, kind of. At least, yeah, I might just make like any sort of entity right now that I can draw. I could probably, that has a hitbox. I'll probably just wrap that and then put, make it kind of a button thing. Just put a little, you know, a little on click callback and stuff like that. And then there'll have to be like some kind of click mouse state or whatever on it. It should already be, I mean, I think most of the hard part is probably already done, because I can, you know, like these circles and everything, I'm just going to take like, actually I want to use a circle as kind of the button actually to just be kind of thematically nice. But, you know, I'll have like a big button, big circle, and then, I mean, it already kind of, you know, it's already, you can see here, we've got hit detection and everything working with that. And then it'll be a matter of just setting up some kind of clickable state to it. But as far as like making, I mean, I think it'll be kind of like an engine level thing. So it's something I'll reuse. I'll probably use for other games, whatever I end up doing. I don't know if I was telling, I think I was telling you that I'd like to maybe do like a real-time chess game next. I think that was you who I was telling. I remember saying something about that on stream. So like a lot of those, like the button kind of thing. Yeah, so like the button kind of clickable thing might get, some of that stuff will probably get rolled over to that game, right? So I'm going to kind of figure out what stuff I'm going to keep, because right now this is just a singular project, like the engine and everything's just all being built all within this. But I'm thinking once I get to a point where I'm going to do that chess game, I will, you know, have the engine code kind of carry over to that, and then all the gameplay code here, you know, wouldn't. So like kind of the buttons and UI kind of stuff will probably get pulled over for future projects. So yeah, let's start throwing some stuff on the screen here. Total time, total bubbles, bubbles pop per second. That's actually good enough for right now. And let's do... So it'd be cool if we just had like those like centered on screen or something right after you win. So there it goes. Then you see the three things like here: total time, total bubbles, or maybe total bubbles first. Total bubbles, total time, bubbles per second. Yes. Okay. So I'm trying to think if I want to split these into like separate objects now, have like objects that keep track of these. Maybe let's just not do that for now. Let's just jump right into something else. Just throwing these on screen with the text object here. Yeah, okay, so let's just make this dot total bubbles text equals new text. And I don't remember the parameters I need to pass. One of them is going to be the text, I think. And then we will do, yeah, one of them. Yeah, well, let's just see what happens if we do this. So we'll do text equals total, oh, wait. Total bubbles. And then that should be our total bubbles. We'll do another text object. We'll do two more. Total time text. And this will be, yeah, I don't think we need to do these properties like this. We're just going to do these text objects. So we'll do total time, and then we'll pass that. And I need to round these to like, I don't know, probably to the nearest hundredth. Total bubbles. We'll just no, bubbles popped per second. Per second. I'll write it out fully there. Okay. Cool. Let's just get rid of these properties. And if I, whoops, init, whoops, making all these mistakes here. We'll call super.init, and we will do this dot total bubbles text dot init. This dot total time text dot init. This dot total bubbles text. No. Oh, total bubbles popped text. Yeah, I didn't rename that. Total bubbles pop text dot init. There we go. Let's see what happens. I might have used that stuff wrong there. Cannot read property x of undefined. Okay, so I guess we're not setting a position by default. So let's add some positions. Whoops. I'm saying whoops a lot. Making a lot of mistakes. Fat fingering a lot of things. Okay, so pose. Let's set an X position of, let's just do 300, and a Y position of this first one we'll do 100. Or we'll do 300 as well. Oh, actually my window's kind of small, so let's do, just for my window for testing is small, so let's do 100, 100, and then we will, for this next one, we'll do 100, 100, 150. Oh, didn't want to create that many. Yeah. And then this one, 100, 200. And everything else should work. Nice. Okay, so let's move them over more. So we'll make it a Y of 2. Oh, no, no, no. Well, let's do 1, 200, 250, 300, and then an X of 200 for all of them. Pop some bubbles here, and yeah, there we go. That's good for now. Total bubbles 5. Total time 300, 3,000. Blah, blah, blah. Bubbles pop per second. Not a number. What? This worked before. This stat marathon.bubbles.length. Stat marathon.stat. Oh yeah, we're not doing total time anymore. Total time doesn't exist on the marathon. All right, I gotta hit the bathroom quick, but then we'll get right back to it. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we're back. So we are almost working here. We are just not. We're getting not a number for bubbles popped because the property that we are referencing here, it doesn't actually exist. So I guess we'll do this dot total time, and then we'll do that calculation up here. Oh. And then in total time here, this dot total time. Oh, and then this will then be this dot total time. Brilliant. There we go. Bubbles 5, total time. And then bubbles pop per second, 232. So we want to do, for the total time, we need to multiply that by, or divide it by 1,000. So we can get seconds. And we should round it. Yeah, then this should give us like 2 seconds now, right? Oh. What? What happened there? Bubbles length, total time. Oh, wait a minute here. That's really weird that that didn't. We'll put that here. Total time divided by 1,000. There we go. Okay, that was really weird that that didn't. Oh, I might have screwed. I screwed some stuff up there. Okay. So we've got, yeah, I did order, didn't hold up to order of operations there. All right, so now we are calculating the correct amount of seconds, but let's, I guess let's round it up to, we could round it to the nearest, the nearest thousandth second, I guess. So let's do, actually, instead of divided by 1,000, we do total time. This would just be math.round this.total time. So now we're dealing with milliseconds. So we're rounding to the nearest millisecond. So then we do that. Oh, then we divide by 1,000, and then we should have a nice round. Whoops. Yeah, there we go, 3.858. Cool, and then let's also round bubbles pop per second. I guess we'll also round this to like the nearest thousandth. So we're doing times 1,000. So let's just do times 1,000 times 10,000, 100,000, million. Do I have this right here? 1, 2, 3. Let me just make sure. Yes. Yes. So then we round. Math.round this. And then we divide by 1,000. There we go. Hey, what's going on here? I thought I fixed that. Oh, we're not destructing them. And all of these. Oops. Destruct. Destruct. And all right. There we go. So now we start. Okay, and it goes away properly. Nice. Oh, we hit 3 seconds right on the dot there. All right, so Yeah, I'm trying to think now. How do we want to... Bubbles. Maybe not total bubbles. Bubbles. Bubbles popped. Total time. Bubbles popped per second. Oh, we also want this dot mistakes. And whoops. Yeah, so we want to have the number of mistakes that the player makes as well. So as you're playing, if you crash into the wall, that would be a mistake. If you keep crashing like this, that would be more mistakes, right? Okay. Oh, this is mistakes text. And this dot mistakes text dot destruct. There we go. Speaking of mistakes, I am making a lot. I'm typing a lot of mistakes. Now, I'm thinking we're actually going to split all of these. I'm going to create like a new object, a new class for each of these elements here. And it'll be like stat module or something, or stats something. And then it could kind of keep track of where the stat needs to be on the screen. Oh, I didn't move that down. 350. Because right now I'm just hard coding values willy-nilly. It'd be nice to actually make them look semi nice. Let's see about calculating mistakes. I guess we could do that in the marathon. Should probably do that. Cursor drag stopped. Yeah, we wouldn't worry about it there. I guess we could just do this dot stats dot mistakes plus equals 1. Let's just try that. Mistakes equals 0. All right, so if I play here, oh, I'm not printing them yet. So let's do mistakes. This dot marathon dot stats dot mistakes. And I might. So here we should have 0, right? Here, I hit the wall once, twice. There we had 2. Do that, pop the wrong bubble. We had 1 mistake. Oh. That's right. Okay, so I won. I think I need to make a note about that. Yeah, because we don't emit marathon ended until... Yeah, we're not emitting marathon ended until... Maybe I'll do like an animation. Yeah, because what we're experiencing right here is if you play and then we pop the last bubble, I can still hit the wall. I can still hit the wall and like throw the red thing like that, like I'm making a mistake. But I don't really want that, because we're waiting for all these animations to finish. So it's like it's waiting for the animations to finish, even though really the game's over. Like you pop the last bubble, but everything still shows on screen. So like even though you hit the wall, it still counts mistakes 0 because I put the mistakes. So basically, if when you crash and the little red thing goes, it fires a cursor drag stopped, but at this point our marathon is pending destruction, so this handler just returns right away. And our stats, therefore our stats mistakes doesn't increment. You know, if I had that one line above, then it would increment. We would have a mistake at the end. So, yeah. Bubbles popped. Pops per second. Maybe we can call that pops per second. Bubbles popped, pops per second. Yeah, or we could say pops. Pops per second. And I'm thinking we'll probably do maybe the text like this is fine, but it'd be nice to do bubbles popped, total time, pops per second, mistakes. Yeah, it'd be nice to do graphically. I'd like to have like the titles, maybe even this size, bubbles popped, but then the 5 be like blue and be like bigger, right? So it would be quite a bit bigger. Total time, 2.833. So like the numbers themselves are pretty big, and then the text is kind of smaller and above. So that's where I'm thinking of doing the let's do, so I'm going to have a class that would wrap basically each one of these. And then it would have like text. So let's call this stat module. Stat. Do I like module or just stat? We'll just call it stat because it's one. Stat screen is kind of like managing all of it, and then the single stat would just be the one thing. So we are going to import entity from entity.js. Actually, I can just, I'm going to copy over text, because now text will be used in this one, and it's not going to be used. Yeah, so we'll have, for stat, we will have stat extends entity. Yes. Constructor super. Well, this dot title. Oh, we'll do from the constructor, we'll take a title and a value. So we'll have this dot title equals title and this dot value equals value. So the title will be like bubbles popped, and then value will be the actual number of bubbles that was popped. And that way it can be kind of a nice, well, because we'll do two different text objects here. So we'll do this dot title text equals new text equals title, and we will do this. What's going on here? Same thing here. This will just be value text, and text will be value, or I should do this. Title. Okay, let's do that. Figuring out the positions for everything will be like a new step for this, but this, oops, init, this dot, or we'll call super dot init, do this dot title text dot init, this dot value text dot init, and we will do a destruct as well. Super dot destruct. All right, cool. So let's do yeah, I'm trying to think of how to position, how we want to manage like the positions of everything on screen. That's going to be a little more interesting. All right, so let's at least do, let's get our stat screen passing these down properly. So instead of text, we are going to import stat from stat.js and total bubbles text. Maybe we can do, let's do it in a, this dot stats, we'll do an array. We'll do it in an array here. And then it will be this dot, or wait a minute here. New stat title will be bubbles popped, I'll just do it this way for right now. Or no, wait. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Bubbles popped, and then value will be this. That's all we'll do. Whoops. For right now. It'll be 4 of those. So this one will be total time. And we'll have pops per second. We'll have mistakes. So this is our total time. We have our pops per second here. We have our mistakes. Perfect. Okay, so then we, instead of all of this and this, we will just do this dot stats dot for each stat, and then we will do stat dot init. Yeah, well, I'll do it like this. Oh, and we will do this dot stats dot for each stat, and we would do stat dot destruct. All right. Oh, yeah, I'm not setting these up now. Okay. All right, so we've got our elements. Let's just do an offset value. Yeah, actually we will do that. For right now, this is just kind of a temporary thing just to get our positions and everything. So we can have pose. Well, let's do a hard-coded X for right now. You know what? It's just kind of silly that I'm even doing that. I should just jump right into doing things nicely. So let's let our we can let our stat screen well, I guess our stat screen should be based upon, we'll do, like, we've got 4 stats. So let's have the screen like divide nicely into 4 sections with like a little bit of padding on either end, right? So we'll give ourselves we'll do 4. We'll subdivide into however many stats we have. And actually, I don't think we want padding. We'll just do stats. We'll just say each stat thing gets 200 pixels or something. So let's fire up the config here. And we'll do okay, so we got marathon. We'll do a new this dot this dot stat screen. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to do this yet. Let's just take we'll calculate a stat, in our constructor. So we'll import canvas wrapper from canvas wrapper.js, and we should have canvas wrapper.ctx.width. So we'll do, let's just say this dot stat width is going to equal this divided by we need to we'll do stat width. We will calculate that down here. This dot stats dot length. So we've got the which is just going to be the width of the screen divided by the number of stats that we're going to have. And in our init, we could say we could set stat.width is going to equal this dot stat width. All right, and so we won't have offset. We'll have this dot width. We'll just initialize to 0, or let's initialize to null, actually, because if in case I do something wrong, then we'll get an error. Yes. Oh. Oh. Let's do a set pose. Let's do a set pose. Or maybe we'll just set pose and width, set pose and width. So we'll say x and width. So we will have, for right now, I can have stat screen okay, so we set up all the stats, calculate the width. Then here we could do stat.set pose and width. And then we're going to pass the new x value and the width. So it'll be, for each will be stat and I. So we'll do I times this dot stat width. That's going to be our x value, and then the width itself. Okay. The y value, I think we could maybe calculate the height centered in the screen. But we need to figure out, yeah, I don't know, excuse me, I don't know exactly how we'll know that yet. So this will get called before init. And what we'll do is then for this dot title text, we'll just do title text dot pose dot x equals, oh yeah, let's do pose equals x 0 y 0. We'll just do these for initially, and then here we'll actually set them to x. Oh, let's just do y 200 just out of the gate. And then width doesn't actually do anything yet, but we'll use that to kind of calculate where we need to center ourselves up and everything. So now if we play, okay, not quite. Let's do y 300 and title. Oh, we need to do the and we need to do this dot. Oh, wait. Value text, this should be 350. And this dot value text dot pose dot x is going to equal x as well. Yes, they equal the same x, but their y's are set separately. Now y, well, let's see what we're getting for the x value here. Because when I did that before, it did not, stuff didn't come up. Oh, not a number. Okay, so x is not a number. That's interesting. Let's CLG this dot stat width and I. Stat width is not a number. Okay, I is working. That's good. Okay, so canvas wrapper.ctx.width. So let's see what we also got wrong here. This and this. Pop some bubbles and undefined. 4. What is undefined? Oh, ctx.canvas.width. That's what I need. All right. That probably should be it. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. So, I mean, that's getting us closer. We're not quite where we want to be, but we at least have two separate whatever these are. Now, yeah, I'd like the font size actually to scale with the window. So that'll be, I'll have to pick like my initial initial font size to, or I have to pick like the ratio and then somehow figure out like some multiplier or whatever for it. Because I believe if we let's see, I got to remember how to do text. Font. I wonder if I can do, I should probably create my own font class, much like I do with the color class. Because like with the color, class, I do this thing. So like you can specify individual RGBA values for a color, right? And that way you can like animate them and change colors or animate whatever, alpha or all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, you need the HTML text string version of the color. So like anytime I have this set method for a color, and then you set any of these individual RGBA values, and then it updates that string. So that string doesn't recalculate unless it needs to, basically, unless you change the color. So I'm thinking I could do probably something very similar to that, because a font, the font style CSS or whatever is very similar. Like it's like the font size and then the size in pixels or whatever. So I'll need to figure out exactly what we want to do for that. If I look at my text class, was I already in there? Yes. Params.font. Oh, a font does get specified, and then, right? Actually, let's take let's look at this dot title text dot I gotta print it here, CLG, this dot title text dot font, or let's just print the whole object. Yeah, because at some point I'm setting the font color to like blue. So our font's undefined, and then it's just using, the context is just using whatever is default, or using whatever is, I guess that's a default thing, or it's using just whatever. Oh yeah, color gets instantiated to 000 right out of the gate. yeah, so we're not specifying. Oh, size should always be undefined for a text. Okay. Font undefined. What am I? Oh yeah, title text. Okay. So let's look at, hey, why are there no event listeners? Oh, right, there's no event listener, there's a draw. That's how it works. All right, so we want to take the font and set it to, I guess it's set to, let's just make one up. So stat, we'll do font is Arial. Is it 30? Is it like 30 pix? Or let's do something bigger. 50 pix Arial. Is that how it works? Okay, nice. So that is the title text, and then, or let's try 30, and then let's do, for font here, let's do 40, and then let's do a color of, oh, I need to do, oops, import color from color.js, new color, oh, zero, and let's do something that's 127, or more like, let's do 100, and then B to 250, just something like that. Oops. Is that right? No. All right, let's see what we got here this time. Yeah, see, that's a little more something I'm looking for. But let's make it even more extreme. Let's go 50 on the numbers, just to see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, I like it. All right, so the other thing is I'd like to center all of these in their respective zones. So we'll have, oh, there is like a fancy method in the HTML API canvas reference, or in the canvas 2D context API. See what we got here. Text, measure text. So I need to do, ooh. Checks the width of the text before writing it on the canvas. Okay. So we can, I'm trying to think of how we want to do that. Yeah, because I'd have to do like a fancy. So there's basically there's a ctx.measure text, ctx.measure text, and I can get the width from that. So we've got ctx.measure text, but yeah, I'm trying to think of a nice way I can have like a Boolean to say this dot measure text, and then it would have to like equal params dot measure text true else false. Yeah, I guess we could do that. And then it'd be nice to like conditionally maybe conditionally set this draw based upon I mean, I could just do, let's see. Oh, no, this, because somehow we need to get the text measurement before we draw it. You know what? Maybe we could make it a method, actually. Yeah, let's try this. Let's try this here. Import canvas wrapper from canvaswrapper.js. And then we'll have a measure text method. And then we'll do return canvas wrapper dot ctx dot measure text. Const prefont equals C. We'll do const ctx equals canvas wrapper. So prefont equals ctx dot font. We will do ctx dot font equals this dot font. And then we will do measure text, this dot text. But then we can't return yet. text, measure text dot width text, whoa, text width equals that, and then ctx dot font equals pre-font. We set it back to whatever it was. No, actually, no. We don't care about that, because anything that's going to draw is going to use. So we don't care about pre-font. And I don't care about destructuring. Yeah, so we can do that. We can do this safely. Oops. We can return that. So we set the font and then measure the text with that font and everything. Whoops. So that's a nice little method to have on our text. And we don't need to do anything in the draw. The draw will happen later. Yes. So actually, I didn't do anything yet. And let's do, so we've got stat hang on, I'll be right back here. All right, so now I did all of that and I forget exactly what we were trying to do. Well, so the width is what we're going to need to know to calculate the actual position then of our text. So maybe that's what we do here and set pose and width. Yes, that's what we should do here. So, because the X pose right now, we're just aligning to this X that comes in, but we don't actually want to do that. That's like an offset. So that's what we should call it. So we need to do this dot title text dot measure text so we need to do half of that. We need the same thing with the value text. And okay, so we're going to do half of that. Wait a minute here. Man, I can't think. Can't think. This should be simple, but I need to draw. I need to draw to help to help me think. So all right, so there we go. So we're going to have like the edge of the screen. Let's just say that's the edge of the screen. And then we're going to have the text And then we're going to have this, which would be the, so this is our width. This is that width that comes in. And then this is the X that comes in, or the X offset, all right? I got to get better at writing with this. And then our text width, we should get measure text from that, right? So we need to do the position of our text is going to be half. Okay, we need to do half of the width, half of our width, or X offset, plus half of our width minus half of our text, right? Offset plus half of the width minus half of the text. Yes. So our title, gotta move this now. Okay, so half of the width, well, okay, we'll put it here. We'll do X equals X offset plus width over 2 plus measure text over 2. And then same exact thing for the value. So this will be, oops, value text and value text. Oops. So that should center everything up. Nope. Measure text, title text dot measure text is not a function. Stat 28. Isn't title text new text? Text has a measure text method. Stat. Did I type it correct? CLG this dot title text. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm overriding it because I had a property called measure text, which was going to be a Boolean. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we want to get rid of that big time. All right, and well, that's not quite right. So what's wrong here? Let's split these out then. Let's just do const title width is going to equal this. Wait a minute. Actually, no, we're not going to split them out. I'm going to do CLG console.log. Just make sure we're getting console.log this dot value text dot measure text. Just make sure we actually are getting good values here. Whoops. Title text. This dot title text dot text, and let's do this dot value text dot text. Okay, so we've got Bubbles popped. Yeah, this looks right. That looks about right. Bubbles popped. 216 pixels. Yeah, that looks about right. 5 is 27 pixels wide. That looks about right. Total time 128. The number 2.55 is 97. Yeah. I think those values look about right. Yeah, and it's like we're kind of close to what we want to be at, but we're not quite there. So X offset. What is the width? $239.25. So 239.25. What happens if we make this really long? This part almost seems... I was going to say these numbers seem a little more correct, but no, the numbers are also supposed to be centered up, and they're not. Like, they should be evenly centered up along the fourths here. 417, 417, 417. Yeah, so that's this width divided by 4. 417, 417, 417, 4. Right? Yeah, that should be good. So back to our GIMP, X offset. Width. So we want half of width, X offset plus. Actually, let's just look at what X offset is too, because maybe that's coming in weird. Because that X offset should be 0. The first one should be 0. Second one should be 417. Yep. Next one is 834. That's 417 plus 417. And 1251 is 834 plus 417. Yeah. Okay. So that looks right too. Oh. I'm doing plus. This is supposed to be minus. Yeah. It's supposed to be offset plus the width minus the width of the text. Man. Man, oh man. There we go. Nice. Nice. Yeah, so it'd be better to have maybe some little divider things or something. Yeah, because there's not really any like padding. It'd be nice if there was like some fixed padding we had. But I kind of like these numbers and everything. It'd be nice to maybe have a slightly bigger, just double that. Well, it's not double, but just make that. That's a little too much. Let's just do 375. Yeah, that's looking a little better. Yeah, I kind of like that so far. Yeah, so far we've got something pretty good here, I think, as far as stats go. And right now our main menu and everything comes back, which isn't exactly what we want, but we're getting some stats. yeah, we'll maybe figure out some ways to make it look a little nicer. Maybe we'll pick another font to use or something, so we're not using just Arial or whatever it is, whatever the out of the box is. But yeah, so far I think we're looking pretty good. Well, I think I'm going to call it quits for the stream today, and we will get back. We'll be back tomorrow for another big stream. Today's stream was a little small, or today's JavaScript stream, JavaScript stream was a little small because we did the C++ one in the morning, or C and C++ one in the morning, which I think was pretty good. And but yeah, stats screen so far, I'm liking it. We'll continue to build this out a little further, maybe make it look a little prettier, maybe come up with some cooler stats to use, or some new types of stats. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good. So I think I'm out for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and adios.